This year, the Slavic Missionary Bible School sent 10 teams to 3 countries: Canada, the Ukraine, and Kenya. Every year, the Slavic Missionary Bible School takes missionaries to a new country, and 2011 was no different. Over 70 students and alumni participated in the trips, which concentrated on church planting and assisting Christian orphanages. SMBS decided to send missionaries for the second year in a row to Poltava, a city which is often called the heart of the Ukraine. Our work has continued as a result of Sergei Mirza, his wife, and 3 children's decision to move to Poltava to start a church. The missionary team which visited Poltava last year decided to return this year to complete the work they started. They were joined by further missionaries as well. In the past year, the youth club they started grew a lot and became more mature, with its initial goal to attract youth to a Christian setting as opposed to bars or nightclubs. The members of this club take part in ministries at the church, such as leading the worship team, greeting, and setting up for the service. Church services are held regularly every week, and there are now over 60 people who attend services on a regular basis. With the team coming back for a second time, they wanted to bring new methods of evangelism to the city. To this end, they put up 2 billboards in the city which read, "We all need Jesus Christ," and right below it, the Christian Center's address and service times. They also engaged in street evangelism, such as offering free bouncy houses in the park for kids, or just handing out gifts to passers-by on the street with an invitation to the church service or youth club. One moment that our missionaries did not expect was when they hung out a banner on their balcony which read, "Forgive, love, live." Strange as it may seem, a passerby thought that it was a suicide note. The story was even published in the local paper. God used an unfortunate event to evangelize the entire city in only a couple of words. Many that had been attending the church regularly decided to take the next step by receiving water baptism, and on August 7th, 14 people were baptized. The church continues to grow, not only in number, but spiritually as well.
The main ministry that we're responsible for is Youth Club. We communicate with the local youth by trying to show them that there is a healthy life, a life with Jesus Christ. We also have a church here that was founded last year by Pastor Sergei Mirza. When I first began to attend the club, I liked it from the very beginning. I saw a big difference between people that were in an institute and non-believers and the people that are here. I really like to spend time talking about God and study the Word of God. Here I learned how to live a different life with God. And the people could be so sincere, friendly, and truthful, and value you for who you are. I came here not too long ago, but I like it here very much. People here have a good understanding of each other. Everything is really good and everything is real. I'm from the city of Poltava, and I want to thank God and the club one way that they are here in our city. Our youth that is behind these walls need our love and our acceptance. They live in sin and evil, but coming to this club, they see an alternative for their lives. I thank God that such a wonderful people exist, and I thank all of those who help in this place.
Last year in 2010, SMBS sent a small team to Kitale, Kenya to help minister to locals infected with HIV and typhoid. While they were there, they realized the urgent need to establish a long-term project to reach out to the orphans and destitute children in Kitale. As a result, they began a small orphanage, which they plan to expand in the coming years. This year, in 2011, SMBS sent a group of 10 missionaries for a 5-week period. Since the group was not there for a very long time, they were very focused in making every day count. The group first visited other villages with a medical clinic, and many in the team were shocked to see poverty of this severity. The team saw countless poor single mothers and penniless neglected orphans living on the street. The care they showed the children was appreciated, and many young lives were saved. The team also set about strengthening the orphanage begun last year. The orphanage building, which the missionaries began to rent in 2010, had become overcrowded, and a new, larger home was required. Our group was able to locate a new home for the SMBS orphanage, and they helped settle the kids and administration into their new surroundings. The orphanage took on a name, which translates into English as "Full of Love, Jesus is the Father of all orphans." The team also painted and cleaned the house, as well as bought a cow and chickens to provide fresh meat and eggs for the children. It turns out the move was not too soon, as 3 kids soon joined the orphanage, due to their mother becoming very ill with AIDS. Layla is a local woman who devotes her life to looking after the children full-time at the orphanage. The group also organized events, such as a Christian music competition, where the local talent in Kitale was given a chance to showcase their musical skill to win a recording deal. The event was complete with judges, musical instruments, and prizes. The group also held lectures about the importance of HIV prevention and having a strong relationship with Christ. Each talk was designed for different educational levels, from elementary school to college to people on the street. These lectures lasted over 2 hours, with 2 hours devoted to answering questions at the end. In closing, SMBS is very excited about the new orphanage and mission center in Kitale. The orphanage is officially registered with the Kenyan government and is continuing to accept young orphans abandoned by their parents. The financial requirements are growing, and as a result, we ask you to please consider contributing financially to this embodiment of Christ's love in Kitale. In addition to helping raise up Christian children, it is our hope that the orphanage becomes a missionary base which will enable teams to bring God's message even deeper into Kenya and the surrounding countries. There is room for teams to stay, and so we are praying for God to send further teams to Kitale.
3 of them are like 3 years old, and totally they don't have part. One of them is a boy and doesn't have a dad, and the mother is HIV positive. The other one doesn't have a mom, but has a father, and she's a girl called Stacy. Then we have Julia, she has a mother, but no father, with 3 other brothers. And then we have the 2 twins, Bella and Vela. I found them like their mother died recently, about 3 weeks ago. So they had nowhere to go. So that's when I took them in.
Every year, SMBS sends missionaries to 2 locations where a medical mobile clinic is being held. This year, in 2011, the clinic was held in Savinci, a town near the capital of Kiev, and then in western Ukraine in Belokorovichi, a small village near the city of Zhytomyr. Maxim Logvis, a former student from SMBS, was the leader of a group of 7 people from his local church in New York who volunteered to help at the clinic. They were joined by 2 more SMBS teams who were focused on church planning in Savinci and Belokorovichi. Preparation for the clinic started months before it actually arrived. The most difficult task was getting permission from the local authorities to allow the clinic to be held. In Savinci, the clinic was delayed for a day because it was difficult to get this permission. Once permission was given, the physical work began, with evangelism tents and counselor tents being set up and rooms being prepared for doctors and physicians.
I liked everything. Thank you for the service, doctors, and everyone who paid attention to our needs. I like clinic very much. God is blessing us so much here. People are open to listen to the word, and many accept Jesus into their hearts. I'm involved with kids ministry here during the mobile clinic.
Even though it began to rain, over 110 people in Savinci still turned out to receive free medical care as well as attend the evangelism services. The second mobile clinic went off even better, with the local authority giving us permission very easily in Belokorovichi. The clinic was held at an abandoned Soviet hospital, which was cleaned by the missionary group weeks before, and the electricity was turned on. Like in Savinci, the clinic was accompanied by rain, and just like in Savinci, the turnout in Belokorovichi was remarkable. 130 people came out on the first day, and a further 120 on the second day. After their visit to the doctor, each of the 250 attendees had a chance to visit a spiritual counselor, and therefore were not only treated physically, but spiritually as well. Over 30 people accepted Jesus in Belokorovichi.
We were given attention and were treated very well. Very, very well. Thank you so much. The treatment that I received from the doctors was really good. They were especially nice to the elderly and to the kids. The girls from the laboratory did their job very well. I liked yesterday's church service, how the youth performs and teaches. Some missionaries come from the U.S. and they give 3 weeks of their time to help organize mobile clinics. I think it's a big sacrifice and God will reward them. Thank God for those who are doctors and nurses and use their knowledge in this ministry. I am Chief Olesk Regional Health Administrator, and it is very good that people could be checked by doctors in a building. I had a conversation with the local people that were seen by the doctors, and they were very satisfied. The doctors were very experienced, caring, and most of them were calm. I've been to too many hospitals, but have never seen such good treatment. Thank you very much for everything that you've done. Even after the clinic leaves, we know that there are people that are willing here to work, to stay, to plant seeds of God's work, and they will communicate with people and tell them about God. We believe that the church will be planted here.
Velikorovichy is a village located in Zhytomyrskaya Oblast with a population of 3,500. The missionary group sent by SMBS consisted of 7 young people who came with the goal of planting a church. Their efforts in reaching out to the community were greatly assisted by a mobile medical clinic, which was held in the village 3 weeks into their stay. The group also renovated a hospital, which had been closed since the early 1990s. The group was assisted by a local Christian named Valery, as well as Fyodor Kovalevich, a deacon from a Slavic church in Erie, Pennsylvania. As a result of their efforts to reach out to the community, they were given permission to use the renovated hospital building for church services on Sunday and to hold a kids program several times a week. The attendance at the first Sunday service defied their expectations. Over 30 non-believers from the village, young and old, came to hear the young missionaries. In August, the group held a week-long kids camp for the children who lived in Velikorovichy and neighboring villages, and 200 children participated. Although much work has been done, prayer is still needed, as there are several figures who are standing in the way of the gospel being spread. The group is focused on planning an expression of God's church in Velikorovichy, and the team is planning on staying for 6 months and even longer if needed. God is giving our missionaries in Velikorovichy the desire to love and cherish the people whom they encounter. So as far as the clinic is concerned, it's been an amazing, absolutely fantastic opportunity to reach out to the community. It's probably 2 years of on-the-ground missions work in 3 days, as far as the relationships that you can build and as far as just the evangelism that you can accomplish. So in that, it's an incredible opportunity, and I really do believe from here on out we're gonna be able to start a church here in our town. This is the second year that SMBS has sent a missionary group to the village of Kemerovka, a village located north of Kiev near the Belarusian border. 3 team members have actually stayed since they arrived in June of 2010. Our teams have sown a lot of seed, and they are beginning to see a great harvest. The services have started to grow, and attendance continues to pick up in Kemerovka. Besides this, they have also begun to do regular outreach in the neighboring village of Prohori. The group stays very busy on the weekends. They hold 2 services on Sundays, one in Kemerovka and the second in Prohori. With people thirsting to hear what the Word of God has to say, the group took a chance to mention the idea of holding a water baptism. The group began to lead baptism classes, and 11 people were baptized in the fall. Praise be to God.
I decided to stay here for over a year because here in this village we have people who repented, and now they will be receiving a water baptism, and we will be guiding them.
Bereshevka is a town which is located not far from Kiev. This is the second year SMBS has sent missionaries to this small town. Bereshevka has a population of around 10,000 and a small church of about 15 members who attend regularly. Our missionaries were able to establish very good relations with the youth in the village and built some excellent friendships. They began by helping to clean up a local school, which they were later able to use as a kids camp, which lasted 5 days. This opened up communication with the parents in the town. The team also put on a youth concert for Bereshevka and the surrounding areas, which included music and skits. By working side by side with the locals and by seeking to engage every age group, the SMBS team is strengthening all levels of the small church there. SMBS also sent a team to Savency. Along with the medical clinic they put on, the team also organized a kids camp, which ministered to the local youth. The team enjoyed creatively sharing the gospel with children, and the children were able to hear many biblical stories for the first time. The team also helped strengthen a local church of 15 members while they were there, helping to lead worship, put on skits, as well as encourage local young believers in their faith. They held regular bonfires and played soccer with local youth. Lastly, the SMBS team also reached out to the local community by helping to renovate a school, which was badly in need of repairs. This helped build up goodwill in the community, both for our team as well as the local church.
One thing that inspired me was when we had the medical clinic, the way that people were turning to Christ. That just overwhelmed me. It really touched my heart when people were repenting, and I almost wanted to cry myself.
A group of 8 students from SMBS were sent to the eastern Ukraine to help with 3 children's camps, as well as to strengthen a church in the town of Rodsad. The members of this team spent their first month running the children's camps, where they helped lead games as well as Christian services. The camps were for children from orphanages in the area. God moved mightily, and many kids were able to experience the true power of Christ's love. After the camps were finished, the team focused on helping construct a church building in Rodsad, as well as leading church services. Along with this village, SMBS sent 7 missionaries to the town of Petropavlovsk in southeastern Ukraine. They assisted in building a church, which was initiated by Alexander Mokiyenko. Even though the group ran into problems with the local administration, God blessed their efforts. The church in Petropavlovsk meets twice a week, and it has grown from 5 members to about 15, with more locals becoming interested by the week. There are a great number of children involved, and our team organizes a Sunday school program at each service. Evangelism events, which the team leads, continue to play a key role in attracting the locals' attention to the church. A small group of missionaries were sent to Tgorivka to support a full-time missionary who has been living there since 2008. The missionaries came alongside her efforts, holding bonfires, showing films, as well as having other events for the youth, and also organizing a week-long kids camp. The group also concentrated on renovating a building, which the local church had bought. They put countless hours into preparing the building for services.
What I liked the most is the kids' camp. Many kids told me that this was their first time that they felt that someone cared for them. It was their first time coming to camp, and it was the real holiday for them.
Out of the 5 locations where SMBS has full-time missionaries stationed, Tishkivka, Kirovogradskaya Oblast, and Zolonigai, Nikolaevskaya Oblast have been locations open for the longest. Small teams from SMBS were able to visit and encourage these churches to continue reaching out to their communities. A team was also sent to Toronto, Canada, to help organize, in coordination with a local Slavic church, a kids camp, as well as Slavic festival, which were great methods for evangelizing the Russians and Ukrainians in the city. Many of our groups were also able to gather in Malin, in the heart of the Ukraine, during early July at a nationwide youth conference, where the SMBS student choir had the honor of leading worship on the final night of the conference. Over 4,000 Ukrainian Christian youth were in attendance, and many rededicated their lives to Christ and asked God to use them to reach the Ukraine and the nations for the Lord. All of our missionaries thank you for your prayers and financial support. We would like to remind you that with every year, the number of students making the decision to pursue full-time missions grows, and the need for financial assistance grows as well. Please consider financially supporting our missionaries as they carry out God's will on the mission field. For more information, check out our website at slavicmissionary.org or contact us at 888-308-7627.